Hey everyone. So today I wanted to talk about Materialists and Anora. And it's so interesting how in Hollywood there is like a recurring theme or like concept, and especially in terms of like love and marriage. So I combined those two films because they raised the same idea in the same way. They just use different genres. So the main idea is marriage is a business deal, right? So the protagonist, the character, she's like confident, she's sexy, she works the agency, that like a matchmaker agency, whatever it's called, and they sort of like she believes that marriage is a marketplace, it's a transaction like anything else in the world, which is kind of so honest. You know, when my friend and I left the theater and we were like, it was so brutally honest because every one of us are thinking about it. Whenever we date someone, we see someone, we think about seeing someone, we're like, okay, so where does he work? Where does she, I don't know, what do they do? Like whatever. So we're constantly thinking about it. We're just never admitting it because it's cynical, right? It's materialistic. And we don't want to seem this way. We want to be so cool. But it's interesting, like it's always in our minds. So yeah, in this film, they sort of like, they've gotten rid of all the like concepts and cliches, and they're just like, they named it. They've named the elephant in the room, which was so brave. And most of the conversations that the character, Dakota Johnson's character, is having with Pedro Pascal's character are so honest. Like when I was watching, I was like, wow, and so clever as well. Like the writing was so good. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the writing. They kind of present this world as a marketplace, right? We sell everything we can. That's what we do as human beings. We've created many different marketplaces and things that we can sell and buy. And in this case, kind of yes, you know, the world we live in, like the megapolises and this fast life, it is kind of true, you know. Love is a transaction, it's a business, it's an investment, which is why you could have a specific place in this marketplace, which is, you know what, in China they have, if I'm correct at least, they have a like a rating system. So every person is actually rated according to their education, according to their personalities and what they achieved and where they work and stuff like that. So it's so interesting. Like it would have been so easy to just like place a person. So for example, by the way, there is a Black Mirror episode where all the people are marked and assessed, and so they have a specific like rating, and it's constantly changing. So whenever you meet a person, you're like, oh, you're 5.5. I don't want to see you. Like I'm 6.0. Like, you know, I'm so much cooler than you. So there is like an episode like that. And in China, they actually use this matrix to assess people and to sort of like create a scale of people and the society in general, which is madness, I must say. But anyway, there is like another. I found it. I haven't seen the film. I don't even know what it's called. But there is a quote I saw on Pinterest or something, and it said they'd sell the sky if they could. It's so beautiful, right? We as human beings, like we value it so much, and we all our works, management, marketing, like everything is just built around it, and it's okay. However, we have gotten we have caught ourselves in this, you know, dilemma where we could either just decline all the like human connections and actual love and just dive into this rational mind driven world and society, or because there is some like, even in this film, which I absolutely love, that the writer director, she showed like the right path for us. Like you still have to choose love. You don't have to, you know, all that, which I absolutely adore. But in this world, it's sort of like it's become so cruel that it's you have to survive, but sooner or later, I'm running ahead again, but Sadhguru talks about it. Anyway, I'm gonna circle back to this one again. My mind is just like swarming with like ideas. So anyway, um, do I think that it's the right approach to love? Like it's a marketplace? It's cruel. I believe that it could help you survive in this world. I don't think it's correct. I don't think that's, we're just like abusing ourselves to like a certain point. But anyway, the right approach is that the another person doesn't cover your needs. Another person, like no matter what they are, money, adoration, assets, whatever it is, you're not supposed to exchange your energy in this way. You're supposed to, whenever you meet another person, you're supposed to learn something from them. You're supposed to exchange your experiences. You're supposed to contribute to each other's success. And no, not in the way you see it, not in a way, sort of, not you specifically, but like in the way some people see it, not in a way as a transaction. Because love, it's sort of like, it's when your cup is full and you say, you know what, it's so full, I want to share it. I'm gonna give you anything I have because I want to, not because I must. And again, we're circling into, it's such a thin line. Like when you go into this territory and you're like, okay, I want to make it a business deal, sure. Like where you sort of like, you dive into these psychopathic tendencies where you're like, I've given you this one, so you have to give me something in return. So it's like it's a trade, right? I feel like it's a little bit, it's off course. Like you're diving truly into some deranged like psychopathy or like mentality. So anyway, if we go even deeper into this mindset, like this sick mindset that love is, marriage is just like a transaction, if we go a little bit deeper, where does the concept of transaction comes from? It's from ego. Ego tells us that I love you, I own you, like all these creepy things. We basically say, you unlock something within me, you make me feel special, seen, valuable, whatever it is, so I own you now. Which is what humans have been doing for eternity. We see a beautiful rock. Oh my God, it's mine. I wanna keep it this way. I want it to be mine. I don't wanna, like, because it gives me something, because it's valuable to me. And we act the same way with other beings, which is like unbelievably, it's not how we're supposed to function. You know what I mean? It's like, for example, we see a cow and we're like, oh, I can milk you, I can kill you, I can eat your meat, I can do whatever I like. That's not how the balance of the energies work. Like if you take something from another person and it's not mutually agreed upon, again, it could work on some level. Like if you agree with another person that I'm going to give you this, you're going to give me that, we're not going to be emotionally attached, it's just like a business deal, and you're okay with that, I kind of like, okay, whatever. It's not super spiritual, it's not super cool, whatever, but okay, fine, if it works for you. But we're not supposed to take something from another person, because that's abuse, and that's and the abuse comes from, and the ownership comes from ego. Again, I don't think that ego is meaningless, and we should not have egos. Egos help us calculate the best route, helps us to achieve something, helps us to function day to day, but it's not it's not a way up, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we don't know. I feel like most people, at least we used to function in this way, not because we kind of consciously has chosen to be this way, to own other people and see love this way. It's because we don't know how else. So we don't know how to access this love inside ourselves, so we seek that from other beings. We don't know how to earn money ourselves, so we go and rob someone. It's like constantly there. So if a person, for example, narcissism, my favorite topic, if a narcissist don't know how to function by themselves, they don't know how to access this divine, energy, which is the divine source, which every one of us has. But some people are like, oh, I don't know, it's too much work. I have to meditate. I have to, do all these like, do sports, do yoga, do like all these like techniques, breathing, whatever. I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna come to you and I'm just gonna say, you know what? If you love me, first I'm being super cute, and then if you love me, you can give me whatever I need. That's just abuse. Once again, we're circling to that. So it could be either from ignorance or from conscious choice of like I don't want to do that. So anyway, yeah, we don't belong, again, right? We don't belong to other people. People don't belong to people. We cannot own people. We come into this world alone. We don't arrive with apartments and husbands and, like children, whatever. We arrive alone, which means it's sort of like it's supposed to mean that you're supposed to live this life not for yourself, but sort of like with this idea that you are whole, you are not half of anything, you're there. So anyway, you are mine and all that, it's so on the wrong path. And because you search for love outside of yourself, right, because of that, you kind of become so oriented on these external searches, when all you have to do is just like look inward. That's all. Like that's all you need. Love is not external. Which, by the way, if I may, being a millennial, so many films, like I was growing up watching like The Notebook and like all these films that were selling an idea that's basically love, which is not true. And we were kind of fed this idea. And when you're young, you cannot like properly assess like if it's correct or not. So it's unbelievable how much, thankfully these days, like all these beautiful streaming services, they give us like more and more healthy and normal relationship being represented and showed to us, so that we could assess and be like sort of not just see something toxic. So for example, Sex and the City, The Notebook, right? All these like TV series and shows, and you're watching it. Oh, that's so cool. No, gosh, no, that's not. By the way, Nobody Wants This is an incredible TV series. I highly recommend it to you. It's just like probably the first show about healthy love dynamic without romanticizing something toxic or unhealthy or wrong. Just like literally, it's so like, again, you can romanticize it all you want. Like no, it's just like he's just built this way. It's just him. No, it's not. It's mental. Something mentally is wrong with him. So that's not okay. The fact that we've been told that it's okay, it's just so, oh my gosh, just like, thank you, we're not back in 2000s. So again, in regards to the Materialists, I personally couldn't believe that the character, like Dakota Johnson's character, had changed like this quickly. She went from like a person who was like so materialistic. Like she even told this guy, what's his name, like at the wedding, she was like, even now I'm looking at you, I love you, but I'm counting the money. I'm counting if I want to stay with you for the rest of my life, and counting every cent if I want to stay with you and eat a cheap, I don't know, hot dog or whatever. It's like, I get it. Like I've heard so many girls telling me like, it's really like a non-negotiable factor for me if the man should pay for me or afford like cool restaurants and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, like it's your life, you're good with it. But I personally, like, I didn't, can you imagine like a person to change from like such a materialist when she's counting the money and she wants to be rich, and she, at the beginning she says like, I want the next boy I'm gonna date, I'm gonna marry. So let's like being that materialistic to at the very end he is proposing her like a very poor deal on the marketplace, and she's like, yeah, sure, it's love, I'm gonna go for it. Come on, this girl would have never have chosen him. I mean, maybe as a lover, but not as a like a conscious choice for a husband. So anyway, yeah, I didn't quite believe the change. Sadhguru. So the point that I was talking about earlier, there is a video called "Love is Not a Marketplace Deal," and surprisingly, I don't know how it works, but it was published like 10 days ago, something like that, just when I went watching the Materialists, and I was like, that is so in step. But anyway, maybe you know his marketing team is also kind of considering what's going on in the world and what films are in the market. I don't know. But anyway, I highly recommend you check out this video. It's really beautiful. He basically says that stupid people fall in love, intelligent people do transactions, right? That is so this world. That is so how we function and act, right? If you're clever, like, even if I remember, you know, in all the like spy movies and thrillers, they kind of use love as a bargaining chip. So like a person, if you love someone, he's obviously going to become like a card up your sleeve. The person who's like, gonna know, I'm gonna kill this person if you don't do what I want, blah blah blah. So I feel like even then they kind of sound this idea of like, if you love someone, you're potentially vulnerable, you're potentially a target, and you're potentially easy to manipulate, which to be honest you kind of are. But that's, once again, what kind of life would have been. Sadhguru also says that if you calculate, like constantly calculate, okay, so I'm gonna pay for the dinner, he's gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that for him, and then he's gonna do this for me, and then I'm gonna pay for my travels, and then he's gonna, it's like, can you imagine the amount of like work your mind does on a daily basis? It's insane. Like, it's like how much energy you spend worrying about it and thinking over and over, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you have better things to do in this life. Anyway, so yeah, he says stupid people fall in love, intelligent people do transactions, and that is why we have a mental health pandemic. Oh my gosh, it's just so true, right? If you're thinking by this point, you're like, yeah, I get it, but I still kind of see it as a transaction. I mean, come on. You stepping further from, like, from your soul connection. I know it sounds woo-woo, and it's like everybody's using this, oh, my soul. But honestly, it's important that you kind of work both sides, and you make it work, like, and you make it make sense. Yeah, so if I kind of agree with him. I mean, obviously he knows a lot, and he says that we're gonna have a mental pandemic. Like, every second person is gonna be mentally affected in like 10 years or something like that. So yeah, it's that's what we're gonna have. Like, the further you step into this, into mind, into ego, into whatever, the further away you move from love and soul connection and all that. So again, I personally feel like in this film, and I'm gonna give you spoilers, so if you haven't seen The Materialists, stop there. But at the end, she has chosen a guy, like a poor guy, because it was love, right? And we were supposed to romanticize it. But anyway, I feel like that was also a wrong step. Like, if her goal was for the man to have money, to be rich, to afford fancy restaurants and stuff like that, be honest with yourself. Admit it, right? You're not at the point where you're ready to sacrifice yourself. And to be honest, that's not the goal of the relationship. Once again, you're supposed to work on yourself. You're supposed to fund your own life to the point where when you meet another person, when you meet your person, you are not looking to fill the gaps in your life. You're not looking for money or job placements or apartments or like financial freedom. Well, mostly it's about money. What else? Ego, or right, some admiration, whatever you may also seek from another person. So that when you meet another soul, you do not connect based on what you need to fill in the gaps. You meet him or her based on what you could exchange and share. And no, exchange doesn't mean money. Exchange means what could you teach each other, what could you give each other, not out of transaction but out of pure love, because you are so full yourself that there is going to be something that another person teaches you or gives you, not because it's a transaction, again, not because it's a must, because he wants to. And that is how we were supposed to function, basically. Okay, so why did I think that she has made a wrong choice to be with a poor guy? I honestly feel like both choices are not healthy. Even if she were to choose Pedro Pascal's character, I can't remember the name, I feel like it would also have been wrong, because if love is not on the table, as she said, it's also not wrong. But again, to be honest, considering how materialistic she is, it could have worked for her. But I personally, again, I feel like if she's not happy, for example, if I can financially sustain myself, and I meet another guy who is like like him in the film, he's broke, he has roommates, whatever. If I don't feel okay with that, that's not my person. Like that's not gonna work. Like eventually they're gonna arrive at the same questions, at the same arguments, at the same point where she is trying to change him. She would be like, why are you doing still theater if you can focus on your career and earn more money and be on the same level as I am? That's not how it works. Like if you, because again, if you are complete by yourself, if you can sustain yourself, if you know that you don't have any gaps that you're looking to fulfill through other people, then you should be okay with that. That's another person's journey. That's his money. That's his energy. That's his place in the world. That's not your place to be telling him, you know what, you should quit that and you should do that and you should relax. That's not your journey. That's not your life. So all you can control and direct is just your own reality, right? We have actually zero control over other people unless they give up their control and give it to us, but I'm not going to go into that. So yeah, it's sort of you have to be so complete and just like self-confident in yourself and with what you have, so that you don't drag other people into your inconsistencies and instabilities and all that. I hope that makes sense. Now, why did I connect it with Anora? I don't really like the film Anora. I feel like it was such a buzz and everybody was talking about it and how brilliant it is. And I was the only person, I literally know one other person in my circle of friends who didn't like the film or didn't see anything in it. Everybody else was like, no, you don't get it. It's just so brutal. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so the idea is pretty much the same. They showed it in a very raw and negative way. So to me, in Anora, right? So the girl works as a sex worker, and she's good with money. However, like I don't know. Is she looking for love? Because she's like, I wouldn't say she's looking for romance or whatever. She's like self-contained, but anyway, so she finds love, which I like. To me it was obvious. Like, you've met a guy who's in a club, like literally looking for a hookup, and you're like, oh no, you don't get. I'm like, girl, come on. Anyway, I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna go into that. But to me, it was obvious. It wasn't love, right? Again, for him, he was fulfilling his need, the physical aspect of it. For her, she was fulfilling the money need. where does the love come from? All right. So at the very end, when she realizes it's not love, he's not ready to fight for her, and this scene in a car when this guy gives her the ring, so sort of like to like as a resolution of the conflict or whatever, and she's like, okay, I'm so grateful, the ring probably cost a lot of money, and it's also kind of memory of this guy, and she wants to have sex with him because she feels like she must, because that's a transaction. This guy has done something for her, and now she must repay him. Circling back to the idea that marriage is a transaction, is a marketplace. And when she sees that this guy is sort of like, he doesn't want to do that, he's like, she sees that it's more of a love for him rather than a transaction. So he didn't do it, again, that's what love is. He didn't do it because it was a transaction. He didn't do it in hope to have sex with her. He did it because he wanted to, because it's love. And when you're in love, you openly give everything you have, because that's what it means. And she sort of like, her journey is to realize that and be sort of like, oh my gosh, like some people can actually do something for you and not demand anything in return. And I understand it. It's kind of breaking the certain like matrix or mindset for some people. I get it. To me, though, it was kind of obvious. So when I finished watching the film, I was like, all right, so like what? Again, if we were to compare the two films, I feel like Materialists is very light and romantic and like just so inspiring, right? Because it's like, it gives you the direction. You have to choose love, and even though sometimes it doesn't make sense. However, the character, the protagonist, she didn't feel okay with that. That's another problem. But let's imagine she was okay with him being poor, right? Let's imagine at the very end of the film, she's like, I accept you, I'm not going to change you, I'm going to love you as you are. Let's imagine. Maybe that's what she's done, but I don't believe that this arc is possible by 2 week the turnaround. But anyway, what was I talking about? Right. So, and it was really light. So to me, Materialists, it's like an upward kind of looking film where you go into this like better mindset, and you see the way out, and you see the right the right lesson. You get the right lesson out of it. For Anora, it's sort of like, if maybe for some people it's easier to navigate the depth and the darkness of it all, like how raw and actually negative it could have been, like all these like money transactions and power play, whatever. So yeah, it's that's what probably I would say, like if you are more comfortable with horror and the more of a like I said, dark films, then Anora is your choice. However, both of these films are talking about the same idea, the same concept, and the same lesson, that marriage is a business deal, which it is sometimes, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because we step away from what love actually is. And to be honest, like, I know they call it love, like when you're like, no, I love him, he, like, this transactional kind of love. It's not love, right? It's what it is. It's a marketplace. It's a business deal. You navigate business. I'm gonna give you that. You're gonna give me this. We're human beings. I mean, come on. Anyway, so that's what I have for you today. Hope it makes sense. I think I've covered all of it. Let me know what you think. I have a lot of films coming up. I'm just really slow at uploading them and just like filming them, because it takes time, it takes effort and research, and I apologize for that, but I hope it makes sense. And let me know what you think, and I will see you sometime in the future.